This righteous view, man, it's different, man. It's it's provocative, man. I mean, I don't even know what that means. It gets the people going.
I want to say this. Number one is I apologize. I apologize for the start. And I don't really. It's like this. Today was good for me. It was good for me because sometimes you take a step back and you look at it and you think, hey, you know what? It's here. It's on. We're gonna make it work. They're working hard, they're doing this, they're doing that. We're going to go out there and it's going to change right now. It will change. And I'm not trying to tell you something. Guys, it's going to change. It's not like that. Okay, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. It will change. And it will change because they wanted to change. Not because of me. It will change because they want to be champions. But right now we got to figure out the formula, our formula. Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth. Number one. Number two, we are not a charity. We cannot give them the game. That's number two. And number three is we execute from the very start of the game to the very end of the game. That did not happen. I do not apologize about, you know what? I'll go ahead and take the question. No. You don't want me to go much further. Go right ahead. Ask the question. Vernon just, it was something that I told everybody at the very beginning of the week. I will not tolerate players that think it's about them when it's about the team. And we cannot make decisions that cost the team and then come off the sideline and it's nonchalant. No. You know what? This is how I believe, okay? I'm from the old school. I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute, squad, and welcome to Club Controversy. Also, we are also streaming from the Brutally Honest Goodbread. So we're going to start out over here at the Brutally Honest Goodbread. But keep in mind, guys, it's all good. And we don't cater to any groups, gangs, communities, religions, feelings, emotions, people we like, races, none of that. You know what I mean? We cater to the truth. We cater to common sense. And we try so hard not to complicate it. Because you know us. We'll complicate the mess out of some common sense, guys. Yes, we will. Salute to all my good breads in the chat. Guys, we here, man. We done made this channel recognizable. You know what I mean? We done made this channel recognizable. It's a total team effort. Salute to you guys that give me your time, you know what I mean, and your attention, guys. And I support you guys like how you support me. So salute to you guys. Y'all already know. It's no Gus without us. Alright, so salute to you guys. So today, guys, first before we go any further, right? If you in your feelings, you know how I do when we talking about modern women, because today we not really touching on modern women. Today, I'm finna be the bearer of bad news. I'm finna touch on your God. You know, I know how the black community is, and I know this man is heralded as the God. You know what I mean? Y'all salute this man more than y'all praise and worship this man more than y'all praise and worship the Most High Himself. So if you in your feelings, if you must distract yourself and attach your feelings and emotions to Tupac Shakur, his mama, Afeni Shakur, or his daddy, then it's time for you to go. You need to head on out. You need to go to the lockers. Because I wouldn't want to offend you, right? You wouldn't want to be in a place that says offensive things or that disrespects black people, right? Because my mama black, but that don't stop me from telling the truth. Like I said, if you need to relieve yourself from this class now, because we gonna talk about y'all God today. We finna talk about your God. You know what I mean? I know how y'all is. Dog life, dog life. It's y'all God. Y'all know this man lyrics more than y'all know any scriptures in the Bible. You know what I mean? They done made a school and named a university after this man. He's that manipulative. He's that impactful on the black community and the people in the black community, guys. So before we start with any content, let me introduce my guy, Rated Raw TV. What's
Yes, sir.
going
Yes,
on, man?
sir. I'm in the building.
No doubt, man. Salute. Thank you, man. You always bringing that positive energy and you always bringing that other perspective. You know what I mean? And you always need that.
Sir.
You always need that, man. So I'm gonna go on and get started. You know what I mean? Over here at the Brutally Honest, we're starting with the title 15 Things the Black Community Didn't Know About Tupac. Sure, I know a lot of you, the know it alls. Y'all gonna know all 15, and that's great. Kudos, congratulations. You know what I mean? But for the people that might not be familiar, for my young subscribers who've heard of them but don't know the details and didn't never bother to go in depth and find out the details, I'm going to give you guys 15 of the mainstream pieces of information on Tupac. All right, so Rated Raw, whenever you want to chime in and want to add something to it, just let me know. All right.
Okay, for sure.
All right.
Asia Sky from the DX Daily Podcast, and the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur rocked the hip hop community at the time. Pac was just 25 at the time of his death, and he was shot down in his prime. But even with that being true, there are many people who refuse to believe that Tupac is actually gone. There have been wild conspiracy theories tossed around for decades, even one with Suge Knight's son claiming that Tupac is alive and living his best life out in Malaysia. There's
Now that's a fact, guys. For my young guys, it was real godlike. They made this man out to be the most high. And in fact, on one of his last albums, the Machiavelli, one of his last mainstream albums for my technical savvy dumb niggas, you know what I mean? One of his last mainstream albums, the Machiavelli joint, he was even on the cross like Jesus. You know what I mean? So they really herald this man like if he was the damn Jesus Christ.
also
He
been theories
did.
that floated around saying
Oh,
that he's some
I was just gonna say, Pac did have he had a mythological um persona, and his whole story behind it is still I still think it's one of the greatest hip hop stories out there. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
From and so he had that larger than life quality. And I understand what your take is. I just want to put this in and we'll hit play. But it's not that he was saying that in a religious sense, because he was a spiritual guy. He always talked about God. He always prayed a lot. But I think he was just saying that he's the one being sacrificed in the rap game. He was using that as an analogy because he was the first one to call out the Illuminati or the elites behind the record labels, at least in rap. You know what I'm saying? Tupac, I mean, not Tupac, I mean, Michael Jackson and Prince were kind of first. But as far as rap, and he was calling out a lot of the gay shit behind the scenes with them and what you had to do to get put on. And he was the first one to really buck against all that we didn't know was going on. So he just felt like he was a sacrificial lamb, or as a lot of us say, the black sheep in the family or the black sheep in the rap game. So that's just, we could talk about that deeper later, but I just want to throw that out there.
No doubt.
Somewhere in Cuba. Now, all of these theories came to light again when Tupac started trending on Twitter after some photos of the legend resurfaced looking a little bit too modern. In a slide of tweets collected by The Art of Dialogue, you can see fans becoming suspicious of Tupac's whereabouts. One person wrote, Tupac was a famous.
Hold up, hold up, hold up. Before we go any further, yo, we got a man down. We got a brother. We got a brother in mourning, yo. Salute, brother James. And y'all put the one in the chat, in both chats, guys. Put the one in the chat for brother James, man. His dad is in the hospital. You know what I mean? So we all gonna give him a prayer. And y'all put the ones in the chat for now, guys. Put the one in the chat for him, y'all. Word. Hold on, let me throw my one in the chat for him, man. Throw the ones in the chat, y'all. Y'all know how we do over here.
Rapper for like 4 years and died 25 plus years ago, but somehow they're still releasing new pictures of him no one's ever seen before. Tell me how that's possible if he's not alive. Another person joked, somebody tell Tupac we know he was running away from Jada. We now understand and he can come out. We need more good music. Another person said, Tupac's pictures after his death are fresher than some of ours alive. Now, while the idea of Tupac being alive has floated around for years, an autopsy photo taken of his body shortly after the shooting suggests otherwise. Tupac was riding as a passenger in a car driven by former Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight when a white Cadillac pulled up alongside them at a stoplight on Flamingo Road and opened fire. At least 12 shots were fired, 4 of which struck Tupac. After undergoing emergency surgery at University Medical Center that night, his chances of recovery were improving. But on September 13th, 1996, he succumbed to his wounds 6 days after the initial incident. What do you think of these formerly unreleased photos of Tupac? And what do you think about these conspiracy theories about him still being alive? Let us know in the comment section. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Subscribe to the DX Daily Podcast and keep it locked to Hip Hop DX.
Now that's impressive. They said they got unreleased photos of him. I'm working on getting my hands on those as we speak. Salute to my guy, Mr. Approach. But what do you feel about that, Rated Raw?
Yeah, I think, Tupac, when he died, just to put it in an easy to digest format for everybody that's listening, when Tupac died, just look at one of your relatives when you go to a funeral. People don't want to lose the person that they love. And Pac, he just felt like for a lot of people, if you was outside at that time or if you was alive at that time, Pac had the uncanny way of connecting with people through music, and you feel like he was your brother, like me and everybody else. Like you really connected with him, like the relationship that you and I got. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, damn, you meet people and you be like, damn, this is my brother. He felt like your family member, and you never met the guy, but you was following his story, his ups and his downs, his lows, his highs, his mindset. And he would say a lot of things that we was thinking. You know how like when you listen to a song and you'll be like, damn, he had the pulse of the black community and even the white community. Everybody loved Pac. So that's what I'm saying. Like when he did die, like they said, even with the myth still to this day, and you could get even kind of, no offense, you can put it in a biblical sense. When somebody that great dies, people look at people in history and you kind of want them to live on. You know what I'm saying? Some people know it's kind of a fancy. Then you got a small percentage that's like, nah, he really in Puerto Rico. But most people have accepted that he died, but you just don't want that memory and that connection to him to be gone.
You're right, bro. And I was amazed how so many people like attach their emotions. And guys, keep in mind, Rated Raw is talking about this is before us knowing about emotional intelligence. You mean they should have been teaching us this, but nobody taught us emotional intelligence at that age. So we were attaching our feelings to these figures, especially the superstars. It's kind of like Kevin Samuels, right? You saw how a lot of you guys that didn't know you could speak up and stand up and hold standards to women. When Kevin got on and he came on and he told them women off and he put them women in a place, you see how like a lot of you attached yourself to him and live vicariously through Kevin. No, damn well you wouldn't even address a female disrespecting you the way he would, but you attached it because it's like he breathed hope. You know what I mean? He was a beacon of hope at a time where it was getting crazy.
Yeah, he like you said, a lot of people live vicariously through, their stars, but even then people still have done that all throughout history. Just to play the other side of the fence. You look at anybody like back in the day when they had, what was that, the movie 300 or whatever with the gladiators, and he's like, "Are you entertained?" And they'd be inside the gladiator room. You always had people in the stands, 30,000 people, just like a football stadium. And they would live vicariously through the person that's in the spotlight. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know people was like, "Yeah, I'm Sparta, or I'm such and such." And you know what I'm saying? Like, you've always had people on the sidelines kind of living through the people that's in the spotlight, good or bad.
That's a fact. All right, guys, let's move it right along, guys, because we started upstairs today. We're going to work our way downstairs. But before we leave up here, guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. We at the Brutally Honest Goodbread channel. So if you want your comment read, come to the Brutally Honest Goodbread channel. Before you leave, wherever you at, hit that like button and subscribe if you new. All right, guys. So now let's go into 15 things the black community didn't know about Tupac. And again, y'all, salute, and welcome back, Alux, man. Alux was been on a vacation, you know what I mean? But Alux, welcome back, girl.
Hello, Aluxers. This is a special series we're doing here on Alux, where every day we showcase the life and story of some of the most important figures in rap music. Today we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Tupac. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. Today we're talking about the legendary rapper Tupac. Tupac Shakur, also known by his stage name Tupac, was a legendary rapper born in 1971 as LaShane Paris Crooks. A lot of people consider him to be the greatest rapper of all time. Of course, some of his fame is attributed.
I think it's real funny that his name was Crooks. Crooks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Good catch.
To his mysterious death back in 1996. There's also speculation that the rapper may still be alive and will one day put out new music. Shakur also found success as an actor. His legacy still persists today, and he's said to be an inspiration to many young rappers. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Okay, that's enough with the intro. Let's dive in and get a closer look at this rapper with the 15 things you didn't know about Tupac. Number 1. Most of Tupac's family were involved in the Black Panther movement. Tupac
Now that's something that came to light. Now, majority of people should know that by now.
His mother, Afeni Shakur, his stepfather was Mtulu Shakur. And I'll make a quick parallel. Kanye West, his parents were deep into the black. They were like, I think they were I know they were in the Black Power movement. One or two of them might have been a Black Panther too. But that's kind of like Kanye West's thing. That's kind of how he came out. And like you say, in the music industry, you gotta have some kind of connections and shit. So yeah, Pac definitely had. That's his mom right there, the little short hair, girl in the back with the black jacket, straight to the left, next to that. Yup, right there. Yup, that's his mom. And I think that may be his father speaking. I ain't too familiar with the face of Mtulu Shakur because he always kind of played the background. You know what I'm saying? Then I think he passed because that was his stepfather, and that's the one that. Well, you know what? We'll go into that later. Are you going into the father thing? Because I wanted to. Should I finish that thought now
Yeah,
or go into that?
yes, sir. We'll be going into the real father thing because the other title in our other class tonight is Tupac mother a hell of a mother? Is Tupac mom's a hell of a mom? So we definitely will be talking to his biological father who is still alive and breathing. We got the interview. All right, so let's get it.
Tupac Shakur was born LaShane Paris Crooks in Manhattan. He was born to his mother, Alice Williams, and his father, Billy Garland. One thing a lot of people don't know about Tupac is he was born to be a rebel. Most of his family was involved with the Black Panther movement at one point or another. In fact, his mother, Alice Faye Williams, was acquitted of more than 150 criminal charges just a month before he was born. She had
Nah, I think that's key right there.
Great.
I mean,
150? That's a lot of
yes, sir.
charge. I
That's
don't
a
care
lot
what
of
you do.
charges. That's a lot of charges right there. That's some baby mama terrorism if I ain't know anything. That's some hell of a motherism at best.
Yeah. That's wild. Look. Even your most thuggish person in the last 20 years, shit. And it had to be something at once. It wasn't like I don't think they just caught up with her. Like 150, she was getting busy in a short period of time.
Facts. Either that or she was working with somebody and they just mad at her now, so they just want to tally all that bullshit up and throw it on her. But that's what
Yeah.
happens when you work for these people. When you do dirt, you get dirt.
Yeah.
movement at one point or another. In fact, his mother, Alice Faye Williams, was acquitted of more than 150 criminal charges just a month before he was born. She had been accused of hundreds of charges of conspiracy against the federal government and landmarks of New York City. Number 2. Tupac wrote songs for and performed with legendary rappers. Tupac was known for being involved with a lot of controversial characters out in California. Some of his best friends were rappers who were also known as gang members in LA. He wrote songs for many movies, such as Above the Rim and Poetic Justice. He was not only a rapper, but he was also an actor, appearing in films such as Poetic Justice and Nothing But Trouble. He became a household name in the mid-1990s and was known as much for his feuds with other artists as he was for his own music. Number 3. Tupac Shakur attended Baltimore School for the Arts. After spending much of his childhood
Oh man, he a dirty Baltimorean, dirty Baltimorean. You spend time in that dirty ass city. God
Hey,
damn.
what the ironic part is his story is so iconic. I think he was either born in jail, but like they said in the thing, she had just came out. It was something like the thing she was pregnant in jail. She ended up getting released. She was scared about having him in jail. And so that was just kind of iconic right there. And then, he always had that duality about him where he went to the Baltimore School of Arts because he was gifted. He was gifted as a child and he was good. Like he didn't have an outlet really to like rap and perform. Like we got YouTube and all this shit, so he had to go to the School of Arts. But that's where a lot of the celebrities, went there and they met him too, like Jada Pinkett, one of the most hell of a mothers on the planet. You know what I'm
Good
saying?
point.
Or hell of a wives. She's a hell of a wife, I'll say, and a mother, because we can get into that a whole nother. We got a whole three. Man, the shit she did to her kids.
That's a fact, bro.
in New York, Tupac and his family moved to Baltimore in 1986. Once there, he enrolled in the Baltimore School for the Arts, where he studied acting, poetry, jazz, and ballet. Unlike most other rappers, he was almost classically trained. While at school, he and a friend of his would enter rap battles and were almost always the winners. He was known as one of the most popular kids in high school and was said to have an awesome sense of humor. Number 4. Tupac released his first album, Tupacalypse Now, in 1991.
And that's the last album I think that Tupac gave us from his soul, from his heart. Everything else was propaganda, everything else was scripted, in my opinion. But I like that
Really?
album right there. I like that
Yeah.
album. It was a whole different style of Tupac. And then he just went another direction with it.
Yeah. I think he still had the remnants of Tupacalypse. And if I ain't mistaken, that was like Strictly. What was it? I know he had Strictly for My Niggas. That was a whole nother album. But the Tupacalypse, he had like We're Violent. Remember he had that Jamaican beat? Doom,
Yeah.
doom, 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 doom,
Mm-hmm.
doom, 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 doom. And he was like, violent, something, 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 because I'm not silent. And long
Mm-hmm.
story short, he put the finger on the pulse because back then, like now, you had a lot of young black men that were just kind of wayward. We didn't have no direction. We were getting beat up in the street. That's when like police brutality was kind of really hammering down on everybody. And he was like, man, we got to fight back. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Grab my gat, kill a cop. It's just like that whole thing of basically pushing back against the establishment. If we had anything to compare it to, it'd kind of be like the Boston Tea Party type deal, where, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're tired of being oppressed. We're tired of this. We're tired of that. Something's got to change. And I think on that album, it was the raw, you know how it is when you're young. I think he was like, 19, 20. He had that. His next album, Strictly for My Niggas, that one was a little commercialized, but like he said, he kind of had to, and you understand the music game. I don't
Yep.
care who you look at, Wayne, even Jay-Z.
Yep.
His first album, I was outside back then. That shit was a flop. You know what I'm saying? He really ain't do shit. Like, it was cool. He went platinum like years later, and then people look back and said it was a classic, but it was not a classic at that time. But even Jay-Z said, what did he say? I would have been rhyming like common sense, but once I started getting money, I ain't rhyme like common sense.
Common sense, right.
Yeah.
Reason
We
Moved
had to
Out
switch
was a
up.
great album to me too.
Yeah, but like you said, this was one of his rawest. And if you're a Tupac fan, you know that Tupacalypse was one of the rawest and uncut, no fluff. It was just straight from the heart.
Yo, Baby Lane, I'm sorry, Baby Lane. I shouldn't have singled out the whole. I shouldn't have generalized the whole city for one dirty nigga, yo. But I got a dirty roach, yo. I got a world-class simp over there that need to be eradicated, y'all. But salute to Baltimore, man. I love my crab town. That's the crab town of NY of the United States of America, yo. Salute to Baltimore, yo.
B-More got some solid people, man. They got one of the craziest accents too in B-More. You can tell when somebody from B-More.
That's a fact. Salute to B-More, yo.
After dabbling as a DJ in the late 80s, Tupac finally released his first solo album in 1991. It was called Tupacalypse Now. The album was only published locally, so it didn't really receive a lot of public attention. However, other rappers took notice. In fact, many rappers say it was this first album of Tupac's that inspired them to make their own music. He then joined the Digital Underground group and started putting out more mainstream music. Their hit, I Get Around, ranked number 11 on Billboard's Top 100. Number 5. Tupac's net worth is $40 million. Although Tupac was shot and killed back in 1996, his estate and net worth have continued to grow long after his death. While he was alive, he found moderate financial success, but sales of his records and movies took off after he died. His family has maintained tight reins on his.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Now, you know I was going to touch on that right there, bro. I mean, the rappers are very, rap is really more valuable dead than alive, bro?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure in the timeline. I know everybody in that chat will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Tupac was one of the first rappers, if not like the first mainstream big rapper, that was more popular dead. And I'm pretty sure he was the one, because remember how you said, like, with the Machiavelli album, he died right before it came out. Machiavelli faked his death. It was just like the perfect time. And so we was all like, oh shit, Pac, he's so smart. He's like, he named it Machiavelli to let us know he gonna fake his death with this Vegas shit.
Remember they had us playing the fucking CD over in the beginning. Like, look, he said Suge killed him. He said it. He said Suge got
him. Yup. I got shot by Suge. Yeah, he's like, Suge shot me. I remember that. Like, we was playing it back and forth, and then we was looking for hidden messages. I remember we was like, you was playing it backwards and shit. And it was the first one where basically like social media, where it created a hysteria. And then remember, after he died, remember a lot of them was trash. But remember, they put out like 3 or 4, 5 albums. You know what I'm saying? Tupac this, Tupac that, the unheard of. Because he made so much music in really, I think it was like a 5-year span, like from 91 to 96. You know what I'm saying? 97. And, he shot like 5 movies and all that. But we'll get into that. His work ethic is man, it's unmatched. I think he started like the Lil Wayne and the Jay-Z type of work ethic and Kanye West. Like everybody, even Snoop said to this day, he was like, I saw how hard he thought I worked. He's like, I thought I worked hard, but I saw how hard Pac was working. He was like, I had to step my game up.
His estate. He now posthumously is worth over $40 million. It's estimated that over $31 million of that money was earned after he was killed. He's listed as one of the richest dead singers in history. Number 6. Vice President Dan Quayle once labeled Tupac as the cause for violence among young black men in the country.
He was correct. I agree with him. Dan Quayle, you were on to something. You were on to something. C. Dolores Tucker, Bill O'Reilly, they might have been on to something, but we'll get down to that. We'll get down to that. Y'all stick around, hit that like button, share the content, guys.
Two of the most popular songs on Tupac's first album were called Trapped and Brenda's Got a Baby. These songs were popular everywhere, even in Texas. Back in 1993, a young black man in Texas shot and killed a state trooper. Dan Quayle, vice president at the time, said it was Tupac's songs that caused him to shoot the man. Tupac, feeling the backlash from Quayle's comments, said that he doesn't deny wanting to write about the things that plague young black men. He said although he writes about the real-life problems for black men, he never advocated shooting a cop. Number 7. Tupac was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for sexual abuse. In 1992, Tupac was charged and convicted of sexually abusing a female fan.
And guys, it was at this point where your guy, where your brother, Mr.Goodbread, knew this guy was an agent. At this point right here. See, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you like if I was 2020, 21, 22, 23 smart. But I knew something was wrong with these celebrities. I started to be like, why all Mike Tyson, like why? It's like they work with these guys, and then when I guess these guys don't want to work with them no more, or they don't do the right thing, they just pin one of these joints on them. They stick one of these shits on them.
Well,
like, and I could never grasp it because I'm like, bro, I'm in real life and I know how groupies get. I know how it go down with groupies. Why do they always stick this on the dudes?
Well, let me push back on that a little bit. In defense of Pac. When it comes to that, I wouldn't say, in my opinion, that he's working with the CIA. I'm gonna have a counter stance to you on that, where he was so popular, kind of like Michael Jackson, where he had too much of the public, like kind of basically, you know what? This is a good comparison for everybody in the chat or anybody listening to this in the future. You could compare Tupac and the hold he had on young men in society, black, white, whatever, old, young, celebrities. Everybody had a connection to him, to like Andrew Tate, to where he's so influential that they had to stick some dirt on him. And what was that Cat Williams said? I think he was the first one that said that quote where he said, "No black entertainer gets out the business clean. They're
You're right,
always
but
gonna have
see,
a case
hold
on them."
on.
So that answers your one question when he was like, "Hey, Mike Tyson and him, they ended up getting these cases." So in my opinion, just to counter what you said, I'll turn it back to you to counter my counter. But I think that's what that was, is they stick something to you to dirty you up so that hopefully he don't have as much influence.
Right.
Okay, L.
But then that proves what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that these guys working with the agents. They're working with the government, and we know that they use the celebrities. They get us to attach our emotions and feelings to the celebrities, and the celebrities tell us how to live, what to buy, what to eat, how to eat it. You know what I mean? How our women should treat us, how our mothers should treat us. The celebrities mold and shape and condition the mind of the people. You know what I mean?
Okay, you know
So
what? And
that's what I mean. Like even with the Andrew Tates from Jump, we've been already screaming over here. We already seen the agent in that, man. We already seen that. So it's just a matter of time. That's what they do to draw you in. First they try to they do the cancel campaign where they scare the people and act like they're fitting to cancel you. They knowing that's gonna draw more people attention into you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Antichrist effect. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
hold on real quick, guys. Hold on real quick. We got a cash app. We got a
yep.
cash app from the Queen, Posh Williams. Salute Posh for the cash app. Hold on, hold on.
Yeah. You got some of the best supporters in the business. Can
No
I also
doubt.
add one thing? One thing real quick, GB. Let me
Go
give a
ahead,
shout
bro.
out to my guy, Dirty Folks. He corrected me. First, let me shout him out. You know, that's my guy. Also, he said it was Eddie Griffin, not Cat Williams, that made that distinction about, no black entertainer gets out clean. So I just want to give him a shout out on that. Good looking.
Salute to Dirty. Salute to Dirty.
Yeah,
But
like and
hold on, I
subscribe to his
wasn't
channel
finished with your
too.
Posh. I wasn't finished with your Posh because around these parts of towns, we Urshers.
Will you please stop balling up and folding up so we can't even figure out what it is? It's going to be $1 just laid out in there. It's all right. It won't hurt our feelings. We had to go to Family Dollar and buy iron. To iron out all the dollars because we can't even tell what they are. I work in the trustee ministry and we trying to go to Golden Corral too. By the time we iron out all the dollars, everything is closed. And we don't even cook on Sunday no more. So just lay it in the plate. It's still going to be $1. Amen. Come on, y'all. Let's just get along. Come on. Help us out. Because we Urshers. We Urshers. Amen. We're here to serve you. And
Yes, we here to serve you, yeah. But go on, y'all, go on. Let's go. What you were saying, Raw,
Uh,
man, it's crazy.
yeah. Yeah. I was saying, we made a good parallel. I guess we'll agree to disagree on that point about. I just say that, with the information we have now, because history only makes sense when you look at it backwards. When you're
Yes,
living, going
sir.
through the moment, it's too like swimming in water. You can't really see which way is north, which way is east. So I just think that it's more of the record execs because we could kind of tell the government or the establishment, the judicial system was out to get Pac and Tyson and Muhammad Ali. I think it's the actual people with the money, and we'll just call them the elites, whoever you want to say that is, behind the record labels. You know what I'm saying? It was them. They kind of shape and molded because they kind of can't force you because you see, obviously, Tupac pushed back, Michael Jackson pushed back, Prince, he pushed back. So you can't really control them. Like I wouldn't say they working with them. I think that they like, hey, to get in the music industry, you're gonna have to make some concessions and do some bullshit you don't want to do. But you know what I'm saying? Once they get some notoriety and fame, they're like, man, I ain't down for all. It's certain levels that certain people are willing to
Uh,
go. So I guess we'll have that stance. We'll let the chat see how they feel because that's what I want to know. I want to read the chat. If y'all got a difference of opinion or you support my side or his side, let me know in the chat. So while we playing this, I can read how you guys feel.
right, guys. Because this the brotherhood. It's the real brotherhood over here, guys. We know how to debate and we know how to, we know how to do these things. But we really saying the same thing. Honestly, we saying the same thing. We saying the same thing.
Facts.
I'm telling you right now, we are. Because it's just like Malcolm X, for instance, right?
Yep.
I like Malcolm X, but I don't respect everything that we give him credit for, bro, because it wasn't until
Mhm.
after he came from his trip that he realized, yo, bro, they're using me. But you could dress it up however you want. He was working for them until he came back from his trip. Then he got killed. So I'm telling you what it is. Either they're gonna put, after you done working with them, I mean, it is what it is. Once you take a check from these people, you're working with them. You know what I mean?
You know what? That could be a part two. That'll be another, you know what I'm saying, episode. We can have a good debate about Malcolm because I kind of disagree a little bit. So I think we can have a good show on that.
Oh, for right now, MVP. Everybody come to the brutally honest chat. Come to the we at the brutally honest chat. But if you want to donate, you could donate at the on Mr.Goodbread show. But we at the brutally honest chat. Don't worry, you're gonna have time to donate to the live stream because it's gonna get dope tonight, y'all. We here tonight. You know what I mean? But we at the brutally honest chat, so we all could be in the brutally honest. We here until we finish this 15 list, and then we off this. Then we get into, is Miss Afeni Shakur a hell of a mother? You know what I mean? We got to get to the bare root, because if we can figure that out, then what we debating about right now is all null and void. And I think you're gonna lose on Rated Raw. I think you're gonna lose this debate, Rated Raw.
Hey, you know what? This would be one of your first losses if you ain't never had one, but it's okay. I'm gonna show up and show
man.
out.
You know what? I wouldn't be a winner if I didn't know how to lose. You know what I mean? So I'm ready.
All right.
He was sentenced to 1.5 to up to 4.5 years in prison. It was not his first time being charged with a crime, though. He was arrested 6 times since 1993 for weapons and drug offenses, but had served no actual prison time. In 1992, Tupac and his road manager were accused of sexually assaulting a young female fan. When he was convicted, he said he regretted nothing. He said that he puts his fate into the hands of God. He was initially told he had to serve 18 months to get parole, but was released 7.
This your modern day Tory Lanez, Megan the Stallion joint too, guys.
Mm-hmm.
No cap.
7 months later. Number 8. Tupac had a deadly rivalry with fellow gang member Notorious B.I.G. For quite some time leading up to his death in 1996, Tupac was involved in a West Coast versus East Coast gang battle with fellow rapper Notorious B.I.G. The two were involved in several shootings and suspected of criminal activities out in Los Angeles. Most of Tupac's songs dealt with this issue. There were also very public battles between the two, with threats made against both of their lives. Number 9. Tupac was shot and killed on September 7, 1996. On September 7, 1996, Tupac was out in Las Vegas to celebrate his business partner's birthday. He attended a Mike Tyson boxing match with his friend and owner of Death Row Records, Suge Knight, at the MGM.
Yeah, I put a 1 in the chat for John Morant. John Morant, yo. This gonna be you. You keep acting, yo. You keep putting yourself in harm's way. You know what I mean? You come on, bro. Your lifestyle gotta match your behavior, sir. Your lifestyle gotta match your behavior. This is why niggas need to fix their mindset. Niggas really gotta do the work. Because if they don't do the work before they start getting this bread, then they gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, facts. Well, and this is another thing that we all know now. You know, I think we know that in the black community that they've weaponized music. Like that's not even a question. We look at the Cardi B's for the female side and all this stuff, even Lil Kim and all that back then. And then, you know, we look at gangster rap. In hindsight, it makes sense. We can connect the dots and the breadcrumbs. But we even look at your guy, Professor, you know what I'm saying? That's in the chat. He actually, I think he said he did a show, but he mentioned it on your like 2 shows ago that how they weaponize a lot of their music. Like I think the grunge scene, you know what I'm saying, the drugs, popping pills. Like, and that's why I say like I don't think it's the government because you know that the music industry is a private industry. Just like we all know that the Federal Reserve, that's a private bank. They just named it the Federal Reserve to make you think it has something to do with the government. It's literally just me, OKL, the Bell, King Grove, Goodbread, Professor. We all just own a bank. We all got bread, and we the one that the China, America, everybody comes to us for money. So I just think it's the quote unquote, we'll just call them the elites. You know what I'm saying? I just think that those are the ones that shape and mold the shit behind the scenes on what happens in the music industry, specifically for this show and this argument.
Now I agree. Now that I agree with. It's not. Now this is not a black versus white thing right here. This is a, the Jewels. The Jewels run the show. I've been told you guys that a couple of lives back. It's not black versus white. It's the Jewels, and there's some powerful black and white that work with the Jewels, which makes them the elite. So when we talk about it, it's us versus the elite. It ain't us as in black versus white or Jew. It's black, white, Chinese, Asian, is all of us against them. And if we start sticking together, because there's more of us than it is of them, but we let them can manipulate us on each other and eliminate each other to distract us with each other to keep from getting them. That's the goal. Get them. But
Yep.
I digress. Yo, we got OK Izzy the Dean, the moderator, late in the house, but he in here. So, you know what I mean?
Okay, it was
No,
in the
listen,
chat,
listen.
man. It was going back and forth, and he was like,
Hey,
"I gotta
Raider,
come in." He was
don't
like,
do me
"Tag
like that.
me in," like KDH. He was like, "Tag me in. I gotta come in and bring this. Y'all gotta feel this fire I got."
No, because I swear to God, man.
He's supposed to be the mediator. He's supposed to be the moderator of the debate.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right.
No, for sure, It was a little last minute.
Okay, bringing the heat.
Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Look, this is a very, very conducive conversation. And the bell, don't play with me. Don't come for me because I said conducive. But oh goddamn, no, it's a very conducive conversation, and it shows that men can disagree. Real men can disagree and have the conversation. I love it, man.
Yeah.
When I as I'm watching the show, I'm like, I don't even want to get on. I was enjoying it so much. I was appreciating it so much. And I know you busy, so I didn't want to text you like, yo, good bread, I'm not getting on. I just wanted to enjoy the show. But Double R know why I came up here. He know why the hell I came up here.
Yeah.
Check it out. I got a question for both of y'all, and I'm gonna get the hell up out of here.
All right.
Okay.
Because Double R said Tupac. I'm gonna try to read the comment verbatim. It says that where is that? Okay, he said you bugging B. I think Pac had lots of alpha male qualities, way more than these new age SoundCloud rappers. I get that. So my question is this, man: what makes Pac an alpha male? I'm gonna get the hell out of here, but I want can both of y'all answer that?
Yes.
All right, so let me get.
You know
I'm gonna
what?
get up out of here, and I'm gonna just sit back in the seat because I don't want to interrupt this greatness.
Okay.
All right, I
You know
appreciate
what?
you,
Let me. You know what? We'll do this. I'll let you go first because you already know I got my answer already packed. But I know the audience wants to hear your take on what me and OKL was discussing in the chat. So I'll let you go and then I'll follow it up with the crescendo.
Oh, all right. For one, Pac is not no damn alpha male. I mean, Pac is a whole hell of a son. Pac is a hell of a son.
I knew you was gonna say that.
He is son husband. Pac a son husband, man. He is son husband. He ain't know. I mean, and that's the thing. A lot of Pookies display alpha male traits. Think about it. That's government Zaddy programmed all the women to liking the fake alpha. You know what I mean, guys? Y'all already know. Y'all know our graph. See, that was not even fair. Yo, OKL have become quite the fight promoter, y'all. Did y'all see that video earlier with me and the girl on OKL? What a fight promoter. But guys, y'all know how we do over here. What color is Pac? Pac is a beta male still. He's a green. He's on the green. You know what I mean? He's the G thug. He's the fake thug. He's a fake thug. It's no alpha in him, bro. That's my answer.
Oh, okay. All right. Do me a favor. Can you put that graph back up? That circle graph with the alpha, beta cell? Okay. All right. So, we're gonna get a little surgical with this. And with everything you said, he's a son husband and he's a fake alpha male. You know what I'm saying? So my counter to that is this. we all know there's an awakening happening around that time and even going on ever since the last 5 generations of single motherhood or the matriarchy. We understand that the fathers have been removed from the home. So a lot of men, we all know this, a man can't learn how to be a man unless he sees another man. Men teach men and then men teach women. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of black men will just say didn't have fathers in the home, so he had to learn how to be a man through music, like gangster rap and all that stuff. That came out like, well, damn, everything else is just Michael Jackson. You had Prince wearing high heels and shit. You like, you know what I'm saying? I kind of don't have nothing to really look up to that's masculine. And yeah, it was hyper masculine, but even with Pac, he was, like you say, I'll give you that son husband where he revered his mother, but most of us did. Most of us at that time, you looked up to Claire Huxtable. You looked up to what was it, Vivica or whatever on Fresh Prince. I can't think of the mom's name. But long story short, we a lot of men at that time were looking for something masculine to attach to, kind of like the Andrew Tate phenomenon. So I will give you that. But that's the story of a majority of black men in America. Because I've listened to your shows. I've talked to a lot of your different people in the chat. And we all had the same thing. We grew up in the matriarchy. Even you said you used to be, you had some simpish ways. You used to be a nice guy until you learned to be the alpha male. And I think an alpha isn't born. You do have a small percentage, in my mind, 10% of born alpha males who just have it. They're a natural from birth. But an alpha male, that's something that's made and created through life. You have to learn these hard lessons of how not to be. And Pac is the quintessential embodiment of that. Pac had to learn how to be a man. Yeah, he went to the School of Arts. He did all the ballet and all that nice simp shit, the fake stuff, actually just simp shit, nice guy shit. But remember, he came into the streets, and then that's when he had to learn to be a thug. And you know what? I'm going to fight back. I'm going to push back. I'm not going to let people walk all over me. And that's why I say when I answered OKL, I worded it correctly when I said, yeah, Pac has a lot of alpha male qualities. I didn't say he's just a straight up alpha male, just straight from birth, but he had a lot of alpha male qualities, and that had to be learned. And I just think that, like on your chart graph, he had to go through these different phases. And I think that 80% of men of all races are going through this in today's society because under the past 50 years, we've been under a matriarchal rule where we looked up to the woman and we didn't have men or masculine men as role models. So that's why I say he has a lot of alpha male qualities, because he fought back against the establishment when nobody else was doing it. And he just went he went Sigma. He went from an alpha to me to a straight Sigma. It was fuck everybody, fuck Biggie, fuck Tupac. I mean Snoop, fuck everybody. He was like the labels, and then he even pushed back against the quote unquote elites when he's like, "Hey, y'all said don't go to war until I get my money right." And we knew he was talking about the elites and the record labels, the people like you say, the Juice Crew. You know what I'm saying? Them people, they got that real bread. That get your whole lineage taken out in a plane crash, the Titanic type stuff. So I just think that in my mind, he became an alpha, and he showed it through his actions. He fought back against the people. He shot cops. He stood up for everyday black men, almost went to jail for that.
But hold on. That's where you're falling for the story now. You're falling for the very same story that the Juice Crew used him to create to suck you in. Now he's beefing with the Juice Crew, and the Juice Crew takes him out. And now your feelings and emotions is attached to this fake ass dude. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. And
but
yes, hold on.
Respect that, though?
Right, but you gotta understand, right? He can have all the alpha traits that he could display all of the traits that he want. You judge a man on how the way he go out. How did he go out, bro?
Hold on. Before I answer your question, I think you judge a man by how he lives his life. You judge a man on his actions.
So do that. Let's go there.
And that's what I'm saying. The fact that he shot the two cops.
How did this man live his life?
Yeah, he walked down the street as a star. He was a star. He was a rap star. He wasn't as big, but he was a rap star. And he was like walking down the street, and then he saw two white men beating up a black man. They was just plain clothes, and he was like, "Hold up, man, what the fuck y'all doing?" And they were just whooping on the dude. And he came in, stopped in, broke it up like, hey man, get up off this black man. Y'all don't need to do this. They started beating him. He ended up shooting them in the two of them in the ass with a gun that he had at that time. He was carrying heat in 92, 91, 92. So what I'm saying is a random black man, he stood up for them, and then he ended up finding out there was 2 off-duty cops, and he beat that case. So how can that's not alpha? That's definitely not beta.
All right,
I'll tell you that from the streets.
But it's not
Anybody
beta.
from the streets.
But you said you got to judge him about how he lived. So when you say how he lived, that's a collective. That's his body of work. Then you pick one incident that. So let's talk about him starting a whole East Coast West Coast war when he asked Biggie to start. He asked Biggie to at first to let's war with each other because it'll boost us the records. Biggie said no, let's not do that, and he did it anyway. You got that. You know what I mean? Then you got how the man went out. That was black on black crime right there, but we skipped over that though. You know what I mean? When we judge a man on how he lived, this man lived very feminine. You know what I mean? We can't just pick the good stuff. We can't just pick the good stuff. We got to pick the whole body of work. You know what I mean? And when you said, let's go off how he lived, that was the wrong thing right there. Because how did he live, bro? He lived crooked. And we know that was not the way he lived wasn't the way to live, bro. Hindsight being 2020, or it is what it is. You know what I mean? We can't change the past, but that doesn't erase it. That don't mean what was done wasn't done. This man, people attach their emotions to this man. And to this day, those people, those black men are in the train station right now getting choked out and shit. You know what I mean? Those people are fucked up right now. Still talking thug life. Holla if you hear me. You know what I mean? Like, his lyrics is repetitive. His lyrics is satanic, bro. If you repeat some songs, you will be really feeling like you were hopeless. I'm hopeless. Those songs had a generation of guys feeling like their life was already written out. We already know that life is not a movie. Only movies are written out. Life is a game. But when you attach your feelings to these satanic creatures called celebrities and stars and athletes, the people that make money, that work, that are hand in hand to the devil, you know what I mean, with Satan. They hand in hand. They the right hand man's to Satan. You know what I mean? That's what happened, bro.
Okay,
but yeah, he's not alpha, bro. He's not alpha.
I like that. See, right now you was just boiling the water, but right now I'm about to throw in the seasoning, salt, and you know what I'm saying, the vegetables and the gumbo. We about to put a little bit of substance in there. So I just wrote down everything you said. So
right,
you brought up the whole, the Biggie, the East Coast, West Coast thing, right? And like you said, I think you kind of minimized it, but what it was is he was the one that when Biggie came out, because a lot of people forget this, they think Pac was on the West Coast because the West Coast loves him. Pac I think he was from Jersey. You know what I'm saying? He said Baltimore and Jersey and all that. He's from the
Pac
East
was
Coast.
actually born in Harlem. Pac was actually born in Harlem.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. He East Coast. What was it say? New York. He Harlem. He New York. You know what I'm saying? And you got Biggie, Bed-Stuy, whatever. So he was an East Coast rapper at first, but then a lot of them people turned on him. And remember, they set him up to get robbed and shot. And after that happened, basically, imagine you hang with your people and whatever.
But hold on, all right. But hold on, I get what you're saying, but it wasn't just his people. It was his own people. He was in a gang. He was in the low life gang. So yeah, it was an East Coast gang, but it wasn't a Brooklyn thing. It wasn't a it wasn't a New York gang on gang. Tupac had his gang and they was rivaling with people, and Biggie had his people who didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Tupac knew.
I know.
All right, but so then why did Tupac, what made him think of a marketing strategy to beef with Biggie?
You minimize it. Let me just go back. Let me finish that point. So it wasn't like I was saying they had gang beef, but what I'm saying is everybody has a clique, just like you. You got the Goodbread gang. That's the clique. That's just a group of men that are doing their thing, right? Then you got all these different groups and cliques. You got Andrew Tate. You know what I'm saying? He's got the I think it's a Hustlers University or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or Tate Speech. So it's the same thing. People of like-minded ideas get together. So what I'm saying is it was like Puffy was up there, Biggie was up there. So a lot of people that he knew and trusted invited him to a studio. He ended up getting robbed, and we don't have to go deep into that, but it was some suspicious stuff that happened where it's like, damn, B, I came into the studio, some shit happened. I wasn't safe. I should have been safe. It seemed like a setup. And so after that, what happened is he felt like Biggie was supposed to tell him something because Biggie and him, they had a deeper, a deeper connection. And so after that, he felt like Biggie, as my friend, he let me down. He withheld some information, and it was some stuff behind the scenes that we don't know, but we have rumors of. He felt like Biggie was supposed to warn him, and he felt like Biggie knew because of affiliations. So that started a real beef between friends, and that's what that came about. When later on, he was like, Biggie, I'm mad at you. And then he even had Biggie sleeping on his couch. Biggie at first was just like a backpack rapper. You know what I'm saying? Because you was outside, I was outside. So I remember that. And then he didn't start with the whole I'm the fly, Don, Coogee wearing Playboy. He got that from Pac. I remember that. And you know what I'm saying? And so that's where Pac was like, hey, man, you can kind of take this. This is what sells. And it's just like people doing content. He's like, this is what sells. So after that, he kind of coached him up on the new style to get his money. But then that's where the beef came in because he's like, a little bit later on when they fell out, he was like, damn, man, you played me, this, that, and the other. And by them being friends, he went behind the scenes and said, hey, man, look, you know what? Let's put this shit on wax. We beefing behind the scenes, but let's put this shit on wax so that we can get paid behind it. So it was just marketing. It's no different than what they do now with Little Durk and Young Boy. They will never stop their beef because it helps both of them sell. They ain't never going to do nothing. They're both multimillionaires beyond belief. They'll never, everybody has a beef. 50 Cent still does it. He found out that having beef, and you know this from being a New York dude, having beef helps you promote your album for free. Jay-Z and Nas still do it. So when you say that that's disingenuous, like, oh, Pac shouldn't have done that, it's the same formula that Jay-Z and Nas still do to this day, and we know they made up. So I just wanted to attack that point. So that's that whole beef starting thing. It was just for sales, and then it morphed into the East Coast, West Coast war. They wasn't trying to start that. They were just saying, me and you going to go at it lyrically, and it's going to boost both our sales, and it turned into something else. So also when you say like, the thug life, and that is pretty bad. But at that time, when we look at it now, when we call somebody a thug, it is a negative connotation. But at the same time, at that time, being a thug was something positive. I remember it. The acronym that came out first that Pac said, I think he said it on Tupacalypse. And he said, thug is not thug meaning we commit crimes. He said, thug stands for the hate you gave me. You know what I'm saying? And that was real. You know what I'm saying?
Who
And he
gave
was
the
like,
hate? What do he mean by that? What do he mean by that? Is he talking about his mother? Is he talking about Afeni?
No, he's talking about he's talking about society. Y'all are playing young black males because that's what his thing is. I'm a young black male. I'm about to be violent. I'm not going to be silent. You're not going to push me around.
All right.
In
That's what I'm
short, he was
saying.
saying
He's a
that
weapon. He was weaponized.
he was a rebel.
He was weaponized to influence us off stupidity, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. He graciously and did it. He went along with it, bro. He went along with it until he just got tired of doing it, and then they killed him because he didn't want to do it no more. But that do not delete what he did knowingly. You know what I mean? You gotta look at it. Look at all of the people in the pictures that they're showing this man with. We all know. I got evidence on all of the ones that's in these pictures. The Snoops, the Dr. Dre's, the Mike Tysons. You know what I mean? These were they fun toys for black people to influence the black people. That's all I'm saying. Like that's not an alpha. Alpha is leading people to the victory, not leading people to the fucking pig swine. That's what modern women do.
I think on your perspective, because I had to give you your perspective, but I just see it differently because you can't deny that he wasn't a leader because he wasn't following up when he came out. He went against
hold on. I'm not taking any credit away from what he did. I'm just saying it was foul what he did. I'm saying that was foul what he did.
You don't think how about this? Did Tupac set a trail? Was he not a trailblazer and an individual in what he was doing? Like he wasn't being like anybody else. Do you agree that he was, a trailblazer? He was leading the way on doing a new path at that time.
I agree with that, right? But now, do
Okay.
you understand how is that capable? Do you understand how is that possible for a man to go out there and get the story of I shot at 2 cops, Tupac, right? When you're working with the establishment and you're working for the establishment, I can fly, bro. If I take a check from the establishment and my storyline is to influence a bunch of black people and get them to attach their emotions to me to where they stay stagnant and just watch my foolishness. But while they watching my foolishness, I'm getting rich and I'm making you rich and they're staying stagnant. Bro, they can make me fly, bro. Anything is possible. Anything is possible when you're working with these people, bro. Think about it. Snoop also one of those guys that got a murder, that shot somebody, right? His story. Look how Snoop's storyline. Look at Suge's storyline. Look at all of these storylines of the people that they use to influence generations of men, black men. And then look at the image those guys portray to the stereotypes that's out there for black men in our community.
You know what though? I would say this. I had to push back on that. And you look at this same formula. Like that's the same thing that you can say where the buffoonery right now with like Young Thug or Uzi Vert, Yachty painting their nails. I mean, you can buckle to the establishment, in my opinion, and I think a lot of different people in the chat they would agree with me that Pac was the one that was anti-establishment from the go. He came out with his pulse on the youth. He said, I'm not gonna make this feel good rap. I'm about to touch into how young black males feel. And he's like, I see a hole in the game and I'm gonna tap into that. And he's like, just like you're like, I'm gonna get the people behind me. Fuck the establishment. I want the people behind me, the pulse of the streets. And at that time, nobody was really tapping into that. And he mixed in the like gangster rap with a message. He was the very first one to say thug life, this, that, and the other. He mixed it in with a song about his mom at that time. And I know we're gonna get on that topic later, but he mixed it in with a little bit of empathy for his mother. He also mixed it in with, hey, we got to make something for the ladies. So he covered all bases. And like you just said, you said a lot of his music was destructive. That was only the thug life side. Pac inspired millions. And this is why this topic will be talked about for another 100 years. Pac, he was able to tap into the emotions. And I think he did more good than he did bad. And that's why I say, when you look at his overall works, instead of like you said, I'm picking out a few of the good things, I think you're picking out a few of the bad things. But if you look at, I think he did more good than he did bad. And he still inspires people to do better. Like he got that song Smile with Scarface. I still listen to that to this day. If I'm having a bad day or something ain't going right, my YouTube numbers is low, I'm like, man, I can play that song on repeat. And it just makes me like, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. So I just think he did more good than bad. And I think that from day one, when he started pushing back against the establishment, I don't think that he could have been working with it because of how hard they tried to destroy him. Kind of like Michael Jackson, where if somebody said, like, if you would have told me, or if we have another show and you say Michael Jackson was an agent, I would have to push back on that. Like, yeah, he was indoctrinated as a young kid star, but I think Michael Jackson in his spirit, he was just a rebel. He was like, I can't conform to this nonsense, or at least all of the nonsense. And since then, they gave him trouble until they finally killed him. So I think we'll just disagree on that. And just one last point that you made, when you said that, like, he was satanic. And I just think, I would say this. When people use it in a religious sense, yes, people do things that are sins, as you guys say, or like you say, are satanic because of his sin. It has something to do with Set, which is Satan. But I would just say Tupac overwhelmingly let everybody know that he was a man of God. And he was one of the first ones before DMX brought it out, because DMX kind of copied his style. Tupac was one of the first ones that had the thug life element. He had I love my mother element. He had, hey man, the ladies aren't so bad. Like why they, call you a bitch. But then he was like, hey, I get around and I love you and this, that, and the other. And then he also said, I need to pray. He brought God into rap. So I think you as a religious man got to at least applaud that point, that he really made it cool for dudes to pray and come to religion and believe in God. He even got stuff tattooed on him. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that on that, I think his good outweighs his bad. And I can't agree with saying that like a lot of what he did was satanic. I just think he did some bad things out of mistakes because he was only from 21 to 25. If you look at me and what I did from 21 to 25, if you say that he was satanic, I'd be a goddamn demon. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't even know what Goodbread did. You know what I'm saying? Those files is on lock. So I don't even know what you was at 21 to 25. But I just think a lot of people made a lot of mistakes, and his growth towards the end was monumental.
Man, listen. Tupac is a whole lesbian man, bro. Period. Point blank, period. A whole lesbian man, bro. He moved like a girl. He act like a girl. He just emotions. He just I can't with him. But let's finish this list and then we'll get because I got some more evidence and I got some more talking points. So let's finish this list.
Okay.
But wait, real quick. The anti-establishment not behind me though. You know what I mean? So anything I say, anything I do is real work. And it's real, you know what I mean? It's real work. The anti-establishment is, if the anti-establishment is behind you, then you can do whatever. This is why you can do whatever. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? You're not getting that point. You're not getting that point. If the anti-establishment is like, all right, I'm gonna set a trap right here, right? I'm gonna set the trap. Let me use Tupac to fight against the trap, but you know what I mean? It's nothing really to fight against because we're gonna let you win in the end. We just need a representative to show the people that look, be a rebel, you know what I mean? Be reckless, go against it, you know what I mean? Get locked up, pretty much. Tupac did it, you know what I mean? You want to raise the crime? Show the actor the rapper that's your puppet, one of your puppets. Let one of them do some crazy shit out there in the public and have the news keep talking about it because you know they love the villain is always cheered in the black community. They love the villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But hold on, let's get back to this.
Okay.
Grand. On the way out of the fight, they spotted a rival Crips gang member in the lobby of the hotel. They left and were riding in Suge Knight's BMW.
All right, but he an alpha, but he's still engaging in activity like this. This is not alpha-like, bro.
What?
This is not alpha-like. This that fake alpha shit right here. Alpha Sigma don't put theyself in harm's way. Because for one, Alpha Sigma don't chill around a bunch of niggas that condone fuckery. You know what I mean? This is that black community shit where you sit around people that don't check you. You sit around people where y'all trauma bond and y'all relate to the same misery because y'all all in there trying to be Scarface. So this is how this happens.
I would have to say, I would have to push back on this point, and I'll let you continue, is, you know, I think that's the if you just take it to the animal kingdom, right? And we just look at lions, right? And you a lion and you walking around and you with your pack, you know what I'm saying? Some girls, but there's some male lions in there. And it's just like flexing. You know what I'm saying? Every animal does it. Even the peacocks, when they pop out they feathers and they call peacock, and that's where, you know, they got that term. When you walk around with your shirt off and your chest out, that's called peacocking. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So I think that's more alpha. Now, of course, when we look at it, it was the wrong move. But when you out with your bros and y'all out, you don't have to be menacing, but you out with your male friends, you letting everybody know that me and my pack, we don't take no shit. Now, it was a problem because they started some shit, you know, when he swung off on Orlando Brown, I think it was. But, you know what I'm saying? He kind of involved himself in that type of stuff. He should have let Suge and all the LA, you know, gangbangers take care of it.
All right, then that's it. Like, you can't gloss over that. That's a fact right there.
It was still alpha as far as he's out. He's at the Tyson's fight. He with his boys. They're having a good time. And you know how it is when you're out with your friends and something happen and pop off. Most people, I think you said that when you was like, hey, man, I got to let world class know. You was like, if you come at one of us, you come at all of us. The whole gang going to get you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing about a fair fight. We coming at your neck. So I heard you say that verbatim a couple shows ago. And that's the exact, basically, if you say that he's not alpha, in that instance, when you said that, you did the exact same scenario. Orlando Brown, me, same
You got
scenario, bro.
that. You got that one right there, boy. You got
Okay.
that one right there, boy. Yo, how long you been debating, motherfucker, yo?
Real long. I told the bill know what's up. You know what I'm saying?
He said the bell know what's up.
That's my guy.
This motherfucker good, yo. This motherfucker good here, yo. This motherfucker good here.
Yes, sir.
You got that one right there, yo. You got
Okay.
1 point so far, bro.
I'll take it when I can get it. Good looking.
You got a mega one too. That's a 3-pointer, boy.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Sheesh. God damn. This boy's good. This guy's good.
Thank you.
At about 11 p.m., a cop on a bicycle stopped the car for playing their music too loud, but didn't issue a ticket. Just 15 minutes later, a white Cadillac with 4 people in it pulled up next to the car and shot Tupac 4 times. He would die later on from his injuries. It has been determined by most that his death was due to gang violence. Number 10. A jailhouse letter written by Tupac in 1995 was auctioned off for $250,000. While serving his sentence for sexual abuse in 1995, Tupac wrote a 5-page letter to a former editor of Death Row Uncut named Nina Bradwashar. He wrote to her about the plight of the young black man, especially in prison in America. In his letter, he told her he was tired of the thug life and intended to play it straight when he got out of prison. He died just a...
Play it straight? What is he playing? The role? The act?
I think that's just you was kind of outside at that time, but that was just the terminology, as you said, is, I'm gonna play it straight. You'd even say that to the judge at that time, like, hey, judge, when I get out, I'm gonna walk a straight line. Or you would say, I'm gonna play it straight. And that's just like, it's just a lingo at that time. So, and now it probably seems out of context the way you're using it, but he was just saying that I want to play it straight. I want to walk a straight line. Like you just said, is he learned, remember, he's 21 to 25. He died like at 25 years old. So he's like, damn, all that extra hyper alpha male hanging on the block stuff that we're seeing now, that shit dead. That shit only leads to death and jail. And sitting in jail is sometimes the best thing that can ever happen to any man, especially a black man. You'll hear a lot of black men say, man, going to jail was some of the best thing that ever happened to me. So that's what I think he was meaning by that.
And what you raised another great point in that argument right there too. Keep in mind, guys, the man died at 25. So if he was going to become an alpha, you know what I mean, the world may never know. To be truthful with you, I think he would have had the potential to really become a really impactful, dope alpha. Like he would have evolved into a real alpha. Now, he wouldn't have been a Sigma, but he would have been a good alpha. He would have evolved, but he did not make it there. He died a beta male. I stand on that.
Yeah,
he died a hell of a son.
He was going to get there.
He was going to get, once he'd have got those niggas around him away from him, which he was going to do.
Yeah.
And he would have came on back over to the East Coast, because I see what the bell talking about over there. But once he would have came back on over home to the East Coast, where we would have protected him and we wouldn't have shot him, you know what I mean? He'd have been good, you know what I mean? But you guys stay away from that West Coast over there, boy. Them guys is on drugs. They're on real drugs.
I think people in the chat, y'all can agree that Pac would have been like how a lot of people on the East Coast say that what Jay-Z is, he would have really been what Jay-Z is times 2. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z,
I agree.
Is, you know what I'm saying, he made it, but like they're like, oh, Jay-Z, this, that, the other. But you know, I think, like you said, I think Pac with his story and and we know that, like, your trials and tribulations, even taking it to religion. You know, everybody that's in the chat that's in the religion, and if you look at, we'll just say Jesus or some of the other figures in the Bible, your trials and tribulations will make you a great man. And all that stuff that we talking about from what 21 to 25 that he went through, or from 0 to 25. Imagine him being our age. Imagine Pop being 49, 50. Man, he would have changed so much in the music industry. He would have probably had like they would have eventually killed him. He just had too much power. But like you just said, he would have evolved into such a great man that it's sad that he's gone now.
Yeah. But nah, for the record squad, I'm not a Bad Boy fan either, y'all. I'm a Jay fan. I'm a Jay-Z fan, guys. I don't rock with Big either, bro. I got some things. I got a story to tell. I
So
got a
basically,
story to tell with him too. Like, let's stop playing with me.
all right. So basically, you saying with since you a Jay-Z fans, now I know you got bad taste in music. Okay.
I got a bad what?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, now I see where it's coming
This
from.
crazy. This man crazy.
Hey, the Jay-Z debate gonna be even more fire.
This man crazy.
Yeah, I got
This
so much
man
Jay-Z.
crazy.
I got it waiting for you.
Nah. Now we're gonna leave Jay alone. This ain't about Jay. This is about Tupac and Miss
Okay.
Afeni tonight. Let's finish this list, man, so we can get on the fuck out of here and we can get downstairs, so we can really start the show.
Yep.
A year later, he died just a year after. The original letter was auctioned off 20 years later for over $250,000. Number 11. Despite his official death in 1996, people still claim that Tupac is alive and well. Whether they're deranged fans who just wish he were alive, or friends of his who may know more than we do, people to this day still insist the rapper is alive and well. Although people still claim they see him today at places like Lakers games and music award shows, there was a convincing sighting claim in Cuba in 2004. A lot of the speculation is actually created by his old friend, Suge Knight. Knight was seen talking to a man in Cuba who looked a lot like Tupac. However, the man had no tattoos, so we don't think it was the real thing. Number 12. In November 2014, people claimed that Tupac would be returning to put out a new album. Again, there's been a lot of questions concerning whether the rapper is actually dead. People who claim he's alive say he would be returning soon to put out a new album. A lot of people think he's in South America somewhere working on music. One thing that sparked these new suspicions is that Suge Knight of Death Row Records has said that such an album may actually be in the works. Number 13. Tupac set a Guinness World Record in 2004 for being the best-selling rapper of all time. Even though he had died almost 10 years prior, Tupac was still named by Guinness as the world record holder for the most albums.
I think that's a right. I think he is the greatest rapper of all time. His body of work and all of that, guys. Actually,
awesome.
absolutely.
That's
like
awesome.
he's number one. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And then Jay. You know what I mean? And then you know what I mean. You could say whatever you want, but him, Jay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. I agree with the putting Tupac at the top, and then we can have on another stream we'll debate about the order. But Jay is definitely in there too. You know what I'm saying? Even though I talk about Jay, it is as men, as grown men, we'll take our personal feelings out of it and look at the man and judge him by his accomplishments. And you cannot deny that Jay is a business savvy motherfucker. And you know what I'm saying? He's very ruthless too.
Jay's an alpha.
What?
What?
How about this?
What?
Do alphas do this? Anybody in the chat that you've ever seen a Jay-Z interview? He sound like a Urkel.
It ain't about what he sound like, bro. It's about his moves.
You know what I mean?
It's about his mindset and his
shoulders
moves.
when he first. He didn't really get cocky. You know what I'm saying? He was a backup dancer too, just like Tupac. He was a backup dancer. You know what I'm saying?
Is he alpha?
Jazzo.
Is he alpha?
He actually stole. He like a Rick Ross. He stole his whole style from another man. What is this? He was the first Rick Ross, the boss.
Is he alpha?
You know what? He became an alpha, just like Tupac. Dame Dash.
Tupac didn't became nothing, bro.
Dame Dash was his
Tupac
daddy.
didn't become nothing, bro.
We learned how to become a man through Dame Dash. There's no denying that. Yeah.
Tupac didn't become nothing. But I mean, he's great though. Like I said, he's the greatest rapper of all time. Dead, live, it don't matter. He's the greatest.
Albums ever sold by a rap artist. At that time, he had sold over 67 million albums, but we imagine the number may have even doubled once again in the last 15 years. Each generation is introduced to his music despite the fact that he's been gone for over 20 years. Like lots of artists, Tupac's music started selling a lot more after he died than when he was alive. And speculation surrounding his death only sparked more sales of his movies and music. Number 14. Tupac actually starred as the Mouse King in the Nutcracker when he was in high school. We don't tend to think of Tupac, or any rapper for that matter, as a thespian. However, when he was in high school, Tupac acted in many Shakespearean plays. He also had the role of the Mouse King in his school's production of The Nutcracker. As a teenager, Tupac was known for his writing and acting abilities. He wrote a lot of poetry and attended a school renowned for their dance and music programs. One of his best classes was ballet. This is something we imagine he didn't brag about to his gang buddies years later. Number 15. Tupac's legacy, both before and after his death, has remained one of the most interesting topics in Hollywood. Yes, Tupac wrote some powerful and popular songs. He was one of the most popular rappers at the time of his death. However, it's his mysterious death that has kept him relevant in the eyes of Hollywood. There have been dozens of stories and documentaries about his life and death. However, in 2018, actors and police experts from all over the country collaborated to really investigate his death. This, coupled with the biopic of his life called All Eyes on Me.
They didn't do that. What they really did, guys, stay emotional and intelligent. What they did was they saw the pieces, the scattered pieces, and the loopholes in the story, and they just wanted to manipulate your ass into knowing the story that they wanted you to know. You know what I mean? They ran this shit over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Reignited America's
No, go ahead. I was agreeing with you. I just said yeah.
Interest in the rapper. Well, Aluxers, that's a wrap on Tupac. We'd love to know, though, do you think he's still alive? Let us know in the comments.
Hell no, man. Hey, Lux, man, get the hell out of here. Hey,
Hell
Lux,
yeah, he alive. Tupac is alive.
You get out of here, man.
What?
Get the hell out of here.
Tupac gonna come see you. He still got a flat out there. You know what I'm saying? In Harlem. You better watch out.
That boy better go. You better get Tupac gone, man. Tupac gone. He gone. Hey. He over there with Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. He over there with all of them. Kennedy. He chilling with them niggas.
Nah, he coming back for you, man. He gonna, you know what he gonna do when he come back? He'll be like, yeah, you know, the statute of limitations is over. He be like, first dude I gotta come see Suge Knight, and then he was like, man, I'm coming for Goodbread. He won't shout you out, man.
Yo, guys, we getting ready to wrap this show up over here at the Mr.Goodbread. At the Brutally Honest, guys. We out of here at the Brutally Honest. So we'll meet y'all downstairs. We going downstairs to the Mr.Goodbread show, guys. So get on downstairs to the Mr.Goodbread show. We'll see y'all down there. You know what I mean? Can somebody put the link to the Mr.Goodbread show in the chat real quick, guys? While y'all do that, and we let the people click on and go downstairs, the expressway. You know what I mean? Got a little thing to lead us in.
Ears stick out to get away from your face. Well, your mama is
Hold it, wait a minute. Don't bring anyone mother into this. She ain't here. If it wasn't for your mother, you wouldn't be here. So remember, when you put down one mother, you put down mothers all over the world.
Treat your mother right. Treat her right. Treat her right. Treat her right. Treat your mother right. Treat her right. Treat her right.
Mother, there is no other like mother. So treat her right. Mother, I always love her. My mother. So treat her right. Treat her right. M is for the moan and the miserable groan from the pain that she felt when I was born. O is for the oven with its burning heat, where she stood making sure I had something to eat. T is for the time that she stayed up nights and took my temperature when I wasn't feeling right. wrinkle I put on a face, and every worry that I caused when I stayed out late.
All right, guys. All right, guys. We out of here, guys. We see y'all downstairs, man. Salute. Salute.
Good
Eddie
one,
May,
Joe
what
Fred.
up, man? NC, what up? FNC, what up, man?
Shout out to KDH in the building.